Read Paul's book, loved it. I've been into the health stuff for a while and read a number of books on it. And Perfect Health Diet was the first book I read where I kind of just put it down and was like, yes, this is it. Everything was backed up by scientific literature. Everything made perfect sense. And so then I started following the blog, saw the health retreat, and as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, I got to go to this. Yeah, I've been enjoying myself a lot. Perfect location, it's been perfect weather outside of one rainy day. All the people here are really great, learning a lot. And it's a good mix of kind of the basics, helping with the foundation, and getting into the nitty-gritty of the science. That's definitely my favorite part. When the science classes end, I'm always kind of upset. I wish I could do the science classes all day, but I'm sure others don't feel the same way. Yeah, I love the science. I love the why behind everything, and I think a lot of the stuff that we learn about health, we don't have the why. We just kind of have the what or the how, and so you're doing these things and you don't know why you're doing them. And I really appreciate that Paul takes the time to explain why all of his advice makes sense. Yeah, they're good. We don't cook enough, and a big reason is because it's kind of intimidating and we don't really know how. So kimchi is a perfect example. We looked up a recipe for kimchi, and the recipe we saw had like 40 ingredients and all these complicated instructions. We basically just said, oh, we can't do that. But then we saw Shou Qing cook the kimchi, ferment it, and it was really easy. So that's probably the first thing on our list that we'll do ourselves when we get back. That's my second favorite part. After the science classes, yeah, the food's great. Again, because I've been really health conscious for a while, every trip to a restaurant turns into sometimes like a high-stress situation where I'm getting in an argument with the waiter or the kitchen staff about whether they cook in soybean oil and why they should cook in coconut oil. And they tell me they can't cook in coconut oil because it doesn't hold up in high heat or something like that. And so it's awesome here that I just know everything is cooked the way it should be cooked and the way that Perfect Health Diet recommends. So don't even have to think about it. And I'm not used to that. I'm not used to not having to think about exactly how every ingredient is cooked. So not only is it delicious, but you also have the low stress of just knowing it's cooked right. Yeah, very approachable. He even saved me a fried plantain today that I was craving. Yeah, they're great. They're good. So far, we've had a good mix of classes that are hard and not so fun, with classes that are a little bit easier and fun, like games. The not so fun classes, though, afterwards you feel great. You're a good sore the next day, and all the trainers seem to pick exercises where, for the people that are in good shape, they're still very strenuous and they get you in good shape. For the people that aren't in such good shape, they still allow you to actually do those exercises and not risk any injury. Yeah, everyone here has a cool story for how they got into this stuff, and it's hard to kind of find people or relate to people when you say something like, oh, I don't eat bread, or you're that guy at dinner that's like, oh, can you cook that in butter instead of soybean oil or whatever? And so it's nice here that everyone's just on the same page, and when you kind of tell these stories about trying to live in the modern world with an ancestral point of view, people are always relating, like, oh yeah, that totally happened to me, same thing. So yeah, people here are really great. Yep, definitely forces you to get your 7,000 to 10,000 steps a day, walking from house to house, and forcing you to get sunlight walking from house to house outside. Yeah, it's sort of like a healthy real world or something, where you have 25, 30 people all put in two big houses, and you just kind of see how they interact. And yeah, so I think the setting's perfect. Yeah, in terms of packing, I also overpacked, and I'm just wearing basketball shorts every day. Otherwise, you have to change multiple times a day. Since we do 2 exercise classes a day, it's good to kind of just dress knowing that you can wear that same thing during the exercise classes, during dinner, during science classes. And I'd also recommend guests come prepared with a few questions. Since you have 30 minutes with Paul and a nutritionist, and you see Shouqing and Paul and other trainers all around the whole time, there's plenty of time to get all your questions answered. Yeah, absolutely. I live in China, and it's in some ways easier to be ancestral there because it's not quite as developed as a lot of places in like Canada and the States and Europe. But it's also hard to find those things that are organic, and a lot of places in China it's like beef is just beef. Is it organic? Is it grass-fed? I don't know. It's just beef. So it's hard there, but we weren't doing nearly enough on the circadian rhythm entrainment, and that's something that you can kind of do no matter where you are. So that's probably one of my biggest takeaways is how important circadian rhythm entrainment is. Yeah, absolutely, no question. I think it paid for itself in the first day. You learn one really important thing, whether that's how to talk to your doctor, how to make sure you're doing circadian rhythm entrainment right, what to eat, what not to eat, nutrition, what to cook. You learn one meal that becomes like a go-to meal for you, and it pays for yourself because you can use that for the rest of your life, and what's more important than your health.